Alright, James, you were asking if Star Citizen is graphically intensive. So here you go. I'm gonna walk around all my ships, starting with the smallest and working up to the largest. This is called the Gray Cat, little service vehicle, I guess. Alright, here we have the Aurora LN or LX, whatever. It's the super duper awesome version that you get when you start the game if you were a backer from way back. You can see in the cockpit, you'll be able to see around pretty well. Not too many blind spots for the first 180 degrees. Missile rack on top adds to your defenses, and then these Gatling beam turret things. Now the regular Aurora does not have these extra ones here, I don't think. I think they just have the side mounted ones underneath, and no missiles at all. But let's jump on in. This use button will be eliminated eventually, and there will be actual buttons on the side of the hull that you need to press. This game is not even in, I guess it's alpha, but super duper early development. So let's jump in our cockpit. And we'll go into Arena Commander eventually, just not yet. But yeah, as you can see, you'll be able to look around anybody attacking you or anything like that. Now you can go into a third person mode. It is a little bit more difficult to navigate when you're in the third person mode because you don't have a reticle or anything like that. There's a little bay in the back where you can go to sleep, which not really necessary right now, obviously. So let's jump out of this menu, out of the cockpit, and let's head over to our Freelancer. Alright, getting out. You can watch the dude get in and out. Get back in. Alright, so this ship here is called the Freelancer. The Freelancer is an industrial ship. It's more of a freighter. It does have these big fucking guns on the side of it that will be able to defend itself pretty well. It's got a full contingent of missiles, which I think is pretty sweet. And then it's also got this rear gun, which, if you're getting tailed, that's going to be awesome. Have a second person in your ship that can run to the back of the ship real fast and jump in that into that turret and defend it. Eventually, once we get the game, I want to expand this thing into a Freelancer Max. The Freelancer Max gets 2 engines on either side, and they're also bigger engines. On top of that, this whole cargo area back here gets twice as big, I think, and we'll be able to haul a lot more shit. But as you can see, the detail is nuts. Every little detail on here. This eventually, I'm going to put a tractor beam on once we get the actual game. So let's jump in like the Planet Express ship, and then walk up here to the cockpit. buttons everywhere. None of them we can use. Now, hitting WASD, Q, and E, for some reason, it doesn't work right now. Just D and A work. But with I've got a joystick here, and with the joystick I can control it completely. Pretty cool. Alright, let's get out of here. As you can see, the window, it's a little limited, but you can see a little bit. These are little bunks, and that monitor there, you'll be able to control key systems in the ship from your bunk. So if we're under fire, instead of having to get out of your bunk and run up here and jump into the co-captain seat and start messing with stuff, you'll actually be able to, if I install the right modules, you'll be able to affect things like the ship's shield integrity or weapons, all sorts of stuff. These eventually will fold out into little service panels as well. All of these will be able to be used. This, I think, is a space toilet. Can't use it yet right now. In a sink. Alright, let's go to the back. This functions as an airlock, so if you are in space, you're going to want to close those up. Close. There you go. There we go. And this is where we'll be able to store all of our stuff. Right now it doesn't seem small, but if you compare it to the Max is like 2 of these wide. So it's much, much bigger. In order to get into the turret, you need to climb this, but unfortunately right now it's not fully rendered, so when you hit the use, it opens up the door. But being able to load things into the back of your ship is going to be pretty sweet, and you're going to have to load things into the back of your ship. It's not just gonna, you don't just buy stuff and then it shows up. You're gonna have to actually manually do that. Pretty sweet. Now, for the big bitch. My constellation, Aquila. The Aquila class constellation is not only massive in comparison to the other 2 ships that I have, but it is a maximum of 4-person crew. It has sensors on it that will be able to explore planets, chart new jump points, and it also has a few defenses. It's definitely not, of the 4 variants, it's definitely not the biggest damage dealer out there, but it's not the worst either. It does have missile racks, it does have a turret, which I'll show you in a minute. This is unique to the Aquila, the way the window looks. The other front windows are steeped and very jagged edges. I really like the roundedness of this. Lights and sensors, this little sensor thing here. This is a turret that pops down that you can get into. These are VTOL fans, basically. So this whole panel slides back or forward, whichever way it needs to go to counterbalance the ass end of this thing. And those Mark III parts there, they open up and will provide downward thrust so that we can make a landing. Same thing over here. These also move back and forth and provide downward thrust. These are the main engines for this big bastard. There are 4 engine pods, and they are all individual. The engine pods are on a pivot, and they will rotate whichever way they need to go to provide the best possible thrust for the ship's maneuvering. Again, more VTOLs, which I don't know if they're going to conflict with the Merlin that's attached. This is a P-52 Merlin. It is an escort craft that we will be able to get into eventually. It's kind of weird, like glitch. But it has a docking collar. It attaches to the Constellation and travels with it. Or you can get out and do your own thing with the Merlin. It has a cargo bay that drops down like this, or this middle section here, this middle line, is also an area where it can break apart. You can see here there are couplings and fittings that will allow it to drop down. You can dump cargo quickly. If you're getting chased and you're hauling stuff that you don't want people to capture, or you don't want to be captured with it, you can just quick dump all of your cargo by dropping these hatches. Or you can drop the hatches when you're picking up something big and use the cranes that will eventually be here, I imagine, to pick up stuff as well. So, possibilities for freight moving with this thing is also going to be a big thing. Also, this thing comes with a rover. The rover is not here yet, but because it's an exploration vessel, it comes with something that you can unman and explore with that way. So, this is how you get in, officially. And now, we are in my Constellation. So we got a little, open up please. We have a little, no! The whole use thing is annoying sometimes, but a little table that you can pull down. I swear you can, if I can figure out how to do it without dropping down. Wow. There you go. Little table. Done. And you can sit at the table. I don't care about it anymore. All these chairs. Come on. These chairs are really finicky. They're very annoying. But they need to spin around before you can get in them, which is a little annoying, but it makes sense. Once you do it, it's that way. Like, oh, this game sometimes. The use key is extremely annoying. But once you get in, and the chair spins around, from this point on, it's gonna spin back. But again, you can look around at everything. Now those metal plates on the outside of the window, I'm fairly certain those will be able to fold up. I'll show you why. They look like they have hinges on them. They have fittings and hinges on them, but the hinges are in really dumb places. As Steve and I were talking about, it looks like they're going to conflict, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to go up. It would be very nice if they could. Alright, let's get out of here. So, this is a neat little thing. So we've got up and down. Let's go down first. Okay, let's go up first. So the top turret on this thing has been replaced with additional sensors for atmospheric sensors, cosmic sensors, whatever. So instead of having a weapon up here, we've got these sensors and whatnot that will allow us to better analyze planets and wormholes and all sorts of stuff. Pretty cool. Again, you have a full range of view here because there's nothing obstructing you other than the ship itself. Let's jump down, pull our sensors back in, get out of the chair, and let's go down and see what down looks like. I like how the panels go into each other for a second. There we are. So, what does this look like? That's what that looks like. Big guns, man. Big guns. It's like attaching guns to the side of that gray cat and driving around with it. But that's pretty cool. And again, this is shielded when it's not in use. So you see those side panels, they moved in. Or they will move in here in a sec. Right now. There you go. So yeah, that's the manned defenses. The top one's mainly for somebody to go up there, like Mike, to get shot at and die. The other ones are... I'm drunk here. The other one's actual defense, which is pretty cool. Space shower. Space toilet. You can actually sit on the toilet. Space bed. And also functions as a escape pod. So, in an emergency situation, you need to run over to your bed, take a nice little nap, and I'll launch you into space. Again, panel here. You should be able to control some of the ship from this bed. Depends on what I install and what I guess I want you to do. But you can kind of see here, as soon as he stops moving around, you can kind of see how there's a panel under here. I imagine that panel in an emergency situation will drop out, and I would launch you out that way. Honestly, I don't really know how the escape pod thing works. So, here's the business end. That's our cargo bay. It's going to be pretty sweet when we're going to be able to haul stuff in. Docking collar here, we'll be able to board other ships, or that's how we'll friendly boarding or hostile boarding, whatever. Another one over there. There's also one in the ceiling back here, I believe. Yeah, right here. But we can't do anything with that. Not yet. The docking collars aren't initialized, so we can't do anything. This is how you get to the P-52. Power management back here as well. Engineering, whatnot. But here's how you get into the P-52. You have to open this hatch. This also functions as an airlock, so we will have to open this up, get in, close it, whatnot. This is gonna be sweet. Once we get 4 people doing this, like one person, you know, piloting the ship, one person flying it around, one person managing sensors, one person doing engineering stuff or sciencey stuff, and one person calling the shots. I mean, this is going to be pretty cool. I'm super excited for this, and I'm also super excited that this game is working as well as it does. now. Whereas before it was like, I don't know what doing type thing. But, yeah. You should get this game. You should help us back it. Because it's going to be sweet. So sweet. Alright, well, this has been a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. But, you should really enjoy this game. You should get this game. Okay, bye.